Well, folks, we're back with another weekly Payday 3 dev blog. Before we get into it, we've got two things that I need to state right off the bat. First off, I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon. We got given this dev blog a little bit earlier than we even normally would, mainly because I'm quite busy today, and I asked and Howo on the Starbreeze team was kind enough to send it my way, but it was a text PDF, so I've done what I did a couple months ago and inspect elemented the entire thing into a previous dev blog, hence why it says April 12th. I'm leaving that there so you can see this is an old blog I've reformatted with the text that we're going through today. Also, I'm just going to put out a general warning. This is going to be a very negative video. I know that I've said I'm going to try and be positive whenever I can, and I do want to keep that up, but unfortunately, as I will explain further into this, these are changes that were lobbied to partners, and we argued against them unanimously, bar one person who was a bit apathetic, I won't name names, and it's been ignored. So I'm going to have the same attitude I did privately as I am publicly, and it's not going to be a good one. Not just for what they're actually doing themselves, but just what it means for the game as a whole, and an issue with priorities, and also just the chaos this last month has been. At the time of recording this, the compensation items are in absolute chaos. I finally got mine on Xbox, but they took ages to show in game, and then when they did, they started duplicating, and I had about 6 of some of the suits and some of the weapon presets. So I've just turned the game off, and I'm not opening it for the weekend because I don't know what's going on there, and I'd rather let whatever problems there are happening happen. So if you don't like the videos where I'm a little bit more negative, that's your warning. You can leave now. But with all that being said, as per usual, if you do want to stay up to date with all future Payday 3 news, even this one, which is going to be a bit negative, then feel free to click that subscribe button. Whether you're new to the channel or keep coming back, it really does support me and help us get towards that 40,000 subscriber milestone. So let's do this, shall we? This blog post is all about skill changes, in particular to a couple of skills in the mower skill line, and it's a blog from Mio that explains basically what's happening and why they're doing it. Looking specifically at the ammo funnel and replenish skills, both of which are in the mower line. And ammo funnel says that as long as you have edge, ammo you pick up is directly added to your equipped weapons magazine, whereas replenish allows you to automatically pick up ammo dropped by any enemies you kill. So when you combine them, if you kill an enemy from far away while edge is active, you auto pick up the ammo and it goes straight into the magazine. Very useful in particular for the light machine gun. The reason they're making a separate blog post about this change rather than just relegating it to patch notes is because they're aware of this combo being popular and prevalent, so they want to set aside a proper space to talk about it. Basically, they're saying this is a little bit too powerful and every allowed build uses it, so they're trying to undo that. Let's go through what they're doing and then I'll give my thoughts overall, because I don't want to start, because when I start I won't stop. Replenish is not being changed, so you'll still pick up ammo instantly when you kill people with edge active, but ammo funnel is being redesigned, and as a result they're adding 2 new skills in the sharpshooter and gunslinger lines to address some of the gaps left by ammo funnel's change. So let's start off with the ammo funnel change. So instead of it automatically adding ammo to your magazine, instead now your reload speed increases by 1% for each shot that hits an enemy, up to a maximum of 60, and that bonus expires when you either reload or swap your weapon. The goal of ammo funnel was to help bypassing reloads and just let you hold the fire button, but it was too good at bypassing reloads, so with this change we're pivoting to making reloads much faster instead. It'll most effectively impact automatic weapons, with the LMG being a big plus, but that's the new change. Now here's the 2 things they're adding. First off, sharpshooter upgrade called Headhunter. As long as you have edge and are aiming down sights, headshot kills with primary or secondary weapons will restore 1 ammo to your weapon's magazine, and this ability has a 1.5 second cooldown. Most useful with sniper rifles, as Mio says here. On top of that, we've got a gunslinger upgrade called Locked and Loaded, where as long as you have edge, ammo pickups for your unequipped weapons are added directly to those weapons magazines, which just feels like a strangely, weirdly walkabout treatment to it. It feels like they're trying to keep what made ammo funnel interesting, but apply it in a way that makes it entirely uninteresting. I don't really love that. These changes are all coming in our next content update. While we understand that nerfs are usually frowned upon, we also want to keep the long-term health of the game in mind and encourage players to explore more options and playstyles in Loud, and we hope that it comes across that we are taking this change seriously, both by dedicating space to talk about it, but also developing 2 new skills to offer more alternatives to it. I do want to give them credit for this sentence though, because as they said, it is good they're giving this a unique space, and they're trying their best to offset what they're doing. The problem is, I don't think, and it was discussed amongst all the partners as I said, like, obviously I can't say tons because it's all NDA bound, but when it's stuff that's come out publicly, I want to share a little bit about the internal discussion because it's gone public, much like with Mask Mania. Pretty much every partner, other than, as I said, one, I'm not doing it to pick them out, I just know one person kind of went, I don't really care. Everyone else said this wasn't a good idea. Now, let me sum up why that's the case. First off, is ammo funnel and replenish as a combo a bit too powerful? Yes, I would agree that it is. But is now the right time to do it when there aren't that many skills in Payday 3 that are more interesting or equally interesting to use? No. I don't think this is really having your finger on the pulse with how to make this game better. They're trying their best to claw back with Payday 3 and make it relevant. Almir begged a few weeks ago for people to play the game if they were liking what they were doing, and so when you look at a skill that is actually quite fun that a lot of people are using in their builds, which for the record is in my Loud build. One of the reasons I hadn't made my Loud build video was because I knew this was happening in the background and I was scared of them going through it, and they have, so now I may as well just wait and not make my Loud build video till these changes take place. And so it just feels as a result that you're basically removing things that are fun and not really offering too much much to replace it, and I get it. There's effort that's gone into trying to suggest other skill changes here, but they don't really accomplish the same thing. The idea here is they're trying to avoid there being skills, as they said, that you always focus points into. I agree with that, because Inspire was a big problem with Payday 2, where a lot of our builds you felt like you had to have Inspire. That's fair, but in Payday 2, there were a ton of other skills you could pick for any type of specification or playstyle that were worth using. It's just Inspire was a little bit better than them. In this, I can't name you 3 skills other than these that are worth picking up that are really fun for actual gunplay skills. I honestly can't, and as a result, I don't think this was a good idea. I can understand them wanting to balance the game more, but in my personal opinion, my stance of it is the focus right now should be adding things to the game and fixing anything that is urgent and needs addressing, but if anything happens to be a little bit too overpowered, like progression, I think we can all agree progression is probably a little bit too cracked now. I'm not sat here campaigning saying you need to undo that, because if it makes the game more fun, especially while you're trying desperately to keep people playing, you may as well leave it as it is. Wait till year 2 to refine stuff like this. It just isn't necessary. The skill system already has a lot of haters. There are people out there who I've spoken to and have seen that have tried to find the good in the system, and honestly, more power to you. I really do respect that. But the vast majority of people don't have fun making skill builds in this game that isn't the same variety. So when you take big important skills like these that actually make playstyles fun and then go, by the way, we're kind of nerfing them a little bit just so they're not really very fun to use, that's just not fun. And I know that's not exactly their intention, I get that, but that's how it comes across when you choose now to do it. I mean, this is from Mio himself, and he said over 6 months ago they were going to give the Northwest B9 rifle some love. Where's that love? I know some things take different teams, but it really screams here that they don't have their priorities in check. And it's really sad to see that after, as I said, Almir made that little speech begging people to come back to Payday 3 if they liked what was going on. And then after that, we had Mask Mania, which was a complete hullabaloo. We got the compensation items now that are just not going well in execution. And now they're saying, by the way, here's a fun skill, we're going to nerf it for you. This doesn't scream like you're in touch with making things fun for the game. And it feels like every time something could be done well, it's not being done well. I've seen comments saying that as Starbreeze partners we should do more to help the game, and we really tried with this. We really tried to turn them against this, but they completely ignored what we said and put this out anyway. So I don't really know what else I can say. I'm using this video and putting this point out there, hopefully as a signal to say, you asked us for feedback, we gave it to you. We don't speak for the whole community, and I wouldn't even begin to say that we do, but if the entire group is telling you which way the wind's blowing, it may be a good idea to listen. There will be people out there that say we were all wrong to say that, and as I said earlier with the whole skill thing, that's fair. I don't doubt there'll be a few people out there who say that this change is fine and the timing doesn't matter. But I can't help but feel most people are either going to feel apathetic to it and not really care, or feel negatively. And if the best result you can hope for is apathy, then it's not a change you should be making. And I did ask directly to Starbreeze, and some of the staff are still even on holiday now. I mean, one of the biggest problems with Mask Mania was they launched that event after 6 months of letting it cook, supposedly, and not changing too much, and then dropped it when no one was around to support it. They're putting a big change out like this, which they asked partners to comment on, and we gave our very negative thoughts on it, and they put it out anyway when people aren't here really to explain it very well. I mean, as far as I can see anyway, they've just gone ahead with it and gone, this will be fine while we're on holiday. I don't love it. It feels like sometimes we don't get an eye into things that we could have had an eye into, like the July update, which, as I've said before, I got some criticism for moaning about because I said that some of the things in the patch notes didn't work as they should have done. Things like that, there's nothing we can do because they put that update out, and I don't blame them for not having a test build ready for that. It was just a bug fix update. Would have been great if we had, though, because I could have got in there and said, by the way, these things aren't working, and they could have been under known issues, because obviously it's better if they acknowledge known issues than we have to tell them what the known issues are. But then you get situations like this where we can be asked and we just get ignored anyway, and just as a result, everything this month, I said at the end of last week that I was hoping for a more positive week this week, and we just haven't had it. We just have not had it, and it really sucks. I know that when August's update comes round, and it's probably going to have DLC 3 and the free heist, according to what Almir said, I should mention that. He did tease on a stream that supposedly 2 heists will be in the next update. When they come out, I'm sure things will be on the up again, and things will get positive, but I have not seen a bigger fall from grace and momentum this month than ever. They had 2 really good updates, and then just completely took a dive off a cliff with July, and I guess 1st of August at the date of recording this. It's a genuine shame. Those are my thoughts. As always, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below, but let's just finish off with the compensation items because they do talk about that too. Last week it was music, this week the compensation items. We'll try not to keep making little additions to the blogs too often, but also don't want to stop doing stuff, so here we are. I don't see why adding small things is an issue. Say everything you need to. To make a long blog short, we're adding a bunch of content to the various editions of the game. PC heisters, you will see this automatically added to the game already, but console heisters, you'll need to visit your console store page and select the package available to you based on whether you originally bought Syntax Error on its own, or Silver Edition, or Gold Edition. Now, I'm mentioning this here because I want to show you my Xbox. Ooh, the screen is faded, so let me turn my controller on, because saying redeeming it through the store on Xbox is not true, and I want to show this for Xbox people because it does play differently. Maybe it will show up on the store eventually, I've not seen seen it. But what I did was I pressed start on Payday 3, I went to manage game and add-ons, and then within the add-ons, I managed installation, and they popped up. They've showed up randomly now on the list, but originally 5 of them were just at the bottom of this list with their boxes unchecked, and I had to check them and say, you can see here, save changes next to my camera, and that installs them. I didn't have to go on the store, they were just in there and ready. So please check that on Xbox. I don't know if PlayStation has an equivalent, I don't think it has. You may have to go on the store for PlayStation, but that's how it works on Xbox. At the time of recording this, I've had no end of problems with the compensation items even after they've showed up, so I say this now because I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow. I really hope things are much better under control. If they aren't and things are still a crisis over the weekend, I may talk about it in another video next week, we'll just see. But honestly, man, I'm just tired. I just want to talk positively, but if there's nothing to be positive about, it just makes me wonder why I bother sometimes. You know, people say that I'm making these videos just to get a bag. I'm really not. YouTubers really don't make as much money as people think. I make these videos because I like the game and want it to do better, but at some point you have to wonder if it's a sunk cost fallacy and whether it's worth bothering on some of these things. Maybe we should just let these things happen. I don't know. Sorry, I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you all very much for watching, as usual. I really do appreciate it. Sorry if I just seem really deflated. It just sucks that something that really could have been prevented, at least from all of our opinions, just hasn't been. So if it turns out that we're all completely wrong and everyone in the comment section says, oh, this is a fine idea, then you know what? I'll hold my hands up. I'm sure everyone else will. But all I will say right now is the sentiment internally between the partners is very similar to what I'm saying here. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see. Either way, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all very soon in a new video. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Take care. Have a good weekend.